What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back for another daily bodybuilding news live, and we have a ton of news stories for you guys today, including this one from Arnold Schwarzenegger. So obviously everyone knows that when the whole pandemic started, Arnold basically came out with a comment saying, "Screw your freedom," and people were outraged because a lot of, especially bodybuilding fans, were very much about being able to do what we want to do, all that sort of stuff. And I think that stems from just whoever sort of gets into bodybuilding, and people were upset about it. And as we saw, Redcon 1, they boycotted the Arnold Classic, and there was a bit of outrage about it. Then there's a few people saying, come on, it's not that big of a deal. So Arnold actually stepped back on those comments just recently on his Twitter page and says, "I'm sorry for saying those words. I try to be relentlessly positive, but sometimes my mouth gets ahead of me. I should have communicated better." So it takes a lot for a guy to step back on his word from something that came out so long ago, especially as well. So I don't know if this came and stemmed from maybe just a comment on Twitter or what it was, or if it was actually in an interview or something like that, where it got raised. But I think it's cool. I think it's cool that Arnold sort of stepped back on that, and I think it's going to endear him more to bodybuilding fans. But let me know your thoughts on that, and if Arnold did the right thing by stepping back on his comments. Also, get in the comments, ask your questions. I'll feature them on this video, and I'll get to those at least at the end of the video, and maybe feature them on the screen for you guys if you are watching live, and if you are watching on replay as well. There will be tons in there. And guys, get in the comments already. Let's go, Juan. I'm going to say Juan. Let me know if that's correctly pronounced. That might be completely wrong. But let's get to our next story. Samson Dauda guest posing, also a physique update as well. We'll feature both of them. But Samson is just absolutely ridiculous, because when he actually guest posed at Fuad Abiad Championships, I believe it was about close to a year ago now, he was off. And people don't realize that. It takes a brave guy to be off stuff and to be actually stepping on a guest posing stage. But he did it, and I think people thought that was impressive, probably thinking that he's blasting. That's how crazy Samson is, and when you look at his physique, I mean, this is a great spot to be in 4 weeks post Arnold Classic. I mean, he's obviously the Arnold Classic champion. He's added more of a fullness back. He's looking absolutely ridiculous. The waist is still pretty tight. Yeah, it comes out a little bit more, but that is pretty damn good for an off-season look. I mean, well, at least for an transitioning look, going from obviously competing in the Arnold Classic to then you'd think he'd be having some sort of a little bit of a rest period, or maybe it's a rebound period, but whatever he's doing, he's looking fantastic, and I think he's in a great spot. And also I want to feature this physique update too from Samson. This says just over 4 weeks post Arnold Sports, 313 pounds, so he's about 13-14 pounds up on what he brought to the Arnold Classic, which is a great indicator. There's obviously more fullness there, and it looks like another 13 or 10 pounds. I can't remember what Samson was on stage, but I know he's around that 300 pound mark, which is absolutely insane. Or was it 290? I can't remember what it was, but I know he was heavy, but 313 pounds is huge in this condition, and he's just so impressive. And I'd like to see this physique update too, because we saw one from the same spot in the same gym, same lighting, and Samson, if he continues to add muscle, he's just going to get better and better. And are we looking at our 2023 Mr. Olympia, or is he just the next Mr. Olympia? Will Hardy win it again in 2023, and then we'll have Samson come in 2024? Or will it be guys like Derek Lunsford, Nick Walkers, Brandon Curry could make a comeback, because he was full and big last year, so we've got a lot of guys contending for that Mr. Olympia in 2023. Now, another story is Charles Griffin. You can see here, this is the incident where he tore his pec, and it looks scary because you can see as the dumbbell went up, he goes back and slips off his knee slightly, so it goes wider than the other side, and then he just can't get it back in, goes out, torn pec. That's how easy it is to literally end a career. But fortunately for Charles Griffin, it says this was scary and thought my pec was gone. This happened Monday. Dumbbell came off my leg wrong, as I mentioned in the video, as I mentioned just then, sorry. Went to the doctor this morning to review MRI. Long story short, we need no surgery. Grade 2 tear, 4 to 6 weeks. No deformities at all. #blessed. Great way to look at it, because this is literally can be a career ending or something that affects your career greatly. If you have a torn pec and it goes right up, affects your training, so you can't be your very best, plus just the overall look of it, it can not necessarily ruin a physique, but it can definitely impact a physique negatively. So I'm glad to see that Charles Griffin Seems to be recovering. There's obviously bruising there, but he says 4 days post-injury, bruising is fading, still inflamed and swollen. It's never been any pain, which is what kept me kind of hopeful before actually knowing no surgery was needed. The situation is still shitty, but considering the alternative, I dodged a huge one. And for the people saying the weight was too heavy, stop it. One of the risks of bodybuilding, I do that weight weekly for reps, simple freak accident getting them into place. So obviously it's a risk. When you lift heavier, it's a risk. There's guys that lift very controlled and still get injured, but you look at Nick Walker and he's very, very controlled, but they both train under the same coach in Matt Jansen. And, you know, Charles Griffen is exciting because he's made improvements. I never thought I'd be excited, really, again, like super excited about Charles Griffen competing in a crazy way, but he has made me excited to see him on stage with the level of freakiness that he brings. He's brought his legs up tons. I want to actually show this. Check this out. So Charles Griffen, this is 2019 Tampa Pro Show, which is his worst placing, to the 2022 Mr. Olympia. Look at that huge size difference in his legs. That's why Charles Griffen is so much better, because he's so much more balanced. He can pull a vacuum now, so his waist is better, his legs are better, his conditioning's better, and I think he has more overall size as well. So Charles Griffen, he has blown me away at the improvements he has made. So I cannot wait to see him compete in 2023, and hopefully he makes a full recovery from that pec tear, which I believe he will as well. Now, Keon Pearson, he is looking crazy. It's the most committed I've seen Keon, at least from the outside looking in. But look at this. This is tight for an off-season look. Obviously a bit of water and whatnot. But look at that. I don't know which show that Keon is doing. I believe he might be doing Chicago or Texas. But whoever he's competing against in the 212, he is dangerous. And he could be your 212 2023 Mr. Olympia. He is that good. I'm so impressed by Keon lately. The physique updates are just getting more and more impressive. And Keon posts updates when he's confident. 221 to 223 pounds here. So impressive, and I cannot wait to see Keon Pearson compete this year, because I think we're going to see an all-time best Keon. As long as he nails that conditioning, he is going to win. Next update is from Blessing Awodibu. This was actually posted 5 days ago. I missed this one, but he is looking huge. Obviously between sets, doing a bit of posing. So, I mean, Blessing, as long as he can pose his legs well enough, if he does have a bit of a difference in terms of size, I think he can pose it in a way that looks fantastic. I think he's just going to continue to get better in his career, and people are doubting him, but I think he's got plenty of muscle. If he brings it in condition, that puts you up there. So very impressed by the recent updates from Blessing Awodibu. And Justin Shier, he's competing, I believe it's for Chicago Pro. We'll see here. Yep, 15 weeks out from that. And I love this dude's physique. What a shape. Like, and one thing that I suppose gets me excited to see Justin on stage is the fact that he has like such an aesthetic physique. He's added a lot of muscle, and also he did mention that he was actually running and doing sprinting instead of what the cardio he should have been doing under the guidance of his coach Matt Jansen. So he really probably dieted away too much. I don't know if you can see that. That's probably the biggest mosquito I've ever seen in my life on the wall behind him, just there. Just noticed that. But he's looking crazy. Very impressed. Obviously that side tricep, he can probably pull it in and pull it around a little bit more. But that ab shot always looks crazy on stage. He's already got those cross striations on the outer quad. It's obviously a lot of conditioning to go. I would love to see him pick these elbows up a lot and pull back a bit more on that back double, but obviously this is just a physique update. I'm sure he'll improve that before the stage, but very impressed, and I cannot wait to see him compete this year and make his pro debut. And another guy making his pro debut, everyone bags me about that, but this guy here, I believe he's 9 weeks out now. This was posted 12 hours ago, and that is absolutely freaky. That is Juan Pradels. I'm probably pronouncing that incredibly wrong, but he looks crazy. Obviously getting into his cheat meal. This is something he does on Fridays, I believe, and you can see another physique update here. So impressed. I believe he's only about 27 years of age. Very good. And let's move to another guy that's competing. This is the Arnold Classic, Brazil, South America, whichever you want to call it, update. This is posted by Milos Sarcev, his coach, and this is Baruz Tabani, 10 days out of that show, looking crazy. He has to be the favourite now that Sergio Oliva Jr. is out of that one, which I mentioned in the last daily bodybuilding news live, if you guys are following along. And yeah, I've got to say that this guy has to be the favourite, but he's not going to be without competition from the likes of 23-year-old Amir Omaragic, who I believe has moved to Brazil. I think I heard in a recent video, I believe that was on Muscular Development. on Giles Tiger Thomas's podcast there, but he is looking crazy. Posted by his coach, Chris Aceto. And look at that. I mean, for 23 years old, he is very, very good. He has maybe a little bit of gyno there, but I don't think it's too bad. And I think we're going to see an all-time best, Amir Omaragic, and because he's gnarly. He has muscle maturity of a guy much, much older than him. And yeah, he's going to be going head-to-head with Baruz. And let me know if you think there's any chance that Amir Omaragic can get the win here and qualify for 2023 Mr. Olympia at just 23 years of age. Now, I've got 2 more updates and we'll wrap this one up. The next one is from Seth Feroce, and this got me wondering. He says, natural lighting is and always will be king. I am, however, not as natural as this lighting. So that's obviously true. It makes me wonder what he's doing. He did say he's taking up to 10 IU of GH lately, which is, you know, pretty decent for a retired guy. So yeah, obviously pretty decent. He would hashtag 17% natural. I love how honest Seth is. He's a really good guy of the sport, and he looks absolutely crazy now. He looks competition lean, or very close to it. Made me wonder, I'm like, how old is Seth? I don't think he's a Masters guy yet. Checked it out, 38 years of age. So I was like, damn, you know, doesn't turn 39 until after the Masters Olympia. So he's 2 years out of being able to compete in that one. But it got me looking straight under here. People also search for Evan Centopani, 41 years of age. That's a guy that I would love to see back on stage. We'll click on him. You can see a few photos here. He's a guy who I'm a huge fan of. I was actually at this contest. If you guys can see that photo there on the right, the Arnold Classic Australia. I was front row looking at that one, I believe. And he's a super nice guy, Evan Centopani. So I'd love to see him come back and get on stage once again. And another guy who just had his 40th birthday, and it got me wondering, Australian Josh Lenardowitz. This guy has finished as high as third at the Arnold Classic, and I don't think he's even hit his peak, and I think he can still hit his peak if he comes back to the stage soon, and I believe he will at some stage. So he has just turned 40, so he can compete in this year's Arnold Classic Masters Mr. Olympia. I'd love to see it. Let me know your thoughts on Josh Lenardowitz, and if he could come back and win that Masters Olympia. I think he honestly could, because he's going to be up against guys, you know, that probably aren't quite his standard. He's still there. Could we see a Brandon Curry or something come in and win this and wipe the stage? Sure. But Josh Lenardowitz is a great bodybuilder, and I would love to see him reach his potential and win that Masters Olympia and go down in history in bodybuilding. But let me know your thoughts on all of those topics. I'll quickly see if you guys have left any comments live. Thank you, Josh. Your interview with Samson was top class, mate. Thank you so much. Go check that out on Desktop Bodybuilding live now. Here we go. Bicep or chest? I don't know what that was in reference to, sorry. Here we go. White Crane. A few problems I have with Samson is how his biceps look in both the double bicep shots. I mean, you can tell he has really good mass in his biceps, but whenever he poses the doubles, they look flat. Yeah, I can see that critique, but I think there's so much freakiness elsewhere. But everyone has their preferences, so everyone's entitled to an opinion. Still lolling over Walker. I don't talk to people in the last call out. Haha. I didn't see that one. You got to fill me in on that. Spanish Jay Cutler. I believe you're talking about Juan. Yeah, he's a freak. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for getting in the comments. If you do like this sort of content, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every daily bodybuilding news live that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills, here at Desktop Bodybuilding. Also, there is an episode of Bodybuilding University going up very, very soon, so make sure you check that out. It's a really good one. Myself, Martin Fitzwater, Brett Wilkin, and we get into some really good topics, and it's actually one of my favorite episodes, so make sure you check that out, subscribe so you don't miss out on that one, and hit that notification bell button. So that's it for me, for Xavier Wills, Desktop Bodybuilding. I'll find the end of this video as well, the outro. We are out.